So MS genetics is a field that has been stagnant for a really long time, from the 1970s, when the first discovery was made that the region of the genome that encodes the HLA molecules, the histocompatibility genes, was discovered. And nothing really happened until 2007, when the first non-HLA genetic associations were discovered. And in part, this paucity in progress was due to lack of sufficient sample sizes for analysis. In genetic studies, it is extremely important to have a statistically powered data set to work with, because in most common diseases like MS, and MS is considered a relatively common disease, the genetic contribution can be minute for each genetic locus. So in order for one to discover these contributions, the sample size needs to be very, very large. And this is what happened when the International MS Genetics Consortium was founded, that different investigators from around the world starting contributing samples from each of their MS centers towards a larger pool of samples. And then starting in 2007, all the way up to 2019, when it was the last publication, we went from one association to 236. Well, it's clear that genetics is a required factor to acquire MS. And it has informed a number of therapies that we're using. 95% of the genes involved in genetic susceptibility have an immune function. So thanks to genetics, we know that MS starts as a disruption of the mechanisms that control the immune system. And therefore, all the therapies that work in MS are immune regulators and immune modifiers. And now the next frontier of MS genetics will be to try to discover whether progression has a genetic basis. We know the susceptibility has. Next question is, do patients who progress faster or slower do that because of their genes or not?